Welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot, and welcome to Venus entering Aquarius on January 17th. And when Venus enters Aquarius, she is also going to be stationed in our 6th house. So on January 17th, Venus is moving, rewriting love as your daily ritual. She is presenting a sacred contract to you between love, labor, and liberation. And as she activates your daily routines, your work life, your health, your habits, your service to others, and ultimately your relationship with yourself, she is here with you all the way through February 10th. When she enters Pisces in our 7th house, our house of commitments, long-term, partnerships, just in time for Valentine's Day. But while she's in Aquarius, this is the quiet revolution that you didn't see coming. Now, before we get started, I just also want to say thank you guys truly so much to each and every one of you. All your likes, your hypes, your shares, views, subscribes, oh my goodness, your comments, your donations, your Honey Sea Star purchases, all of it makes a difference with making this channel a success so we can keep these videos going. More importantly though, each and every one of you are what make this channel a family, and I love you back. So let's get into it, because there's one thing about Venus in Aquarius. This Venus transit doesn't ask you what you want. She asks you how you live. She shows up wearing sneakers, holding a clipboard, and she's asking, why do you do it this way? And who taught you that love had to hurt? During this window, Venus asks Pluto to dance. She merges with the moon several times. She collides with Mercury. She harmonizes with Chiron as well. And she finally also clashes with Uranus in a very big way. All the while, she is sitting in a very rare Aquarius stellium involving the Sun, Venus, Mars, Mercury, and Pluto. With Pluto being here especially, this is rare. And this Aquarius stellium is truly a powerful system-level transformation. They are all camped out in your 6th house. And it's like a think tank is there, dedicated to dismantling outdated systems. So by no means is this a bubble bath kind of self-care. This is a self-care moment where it's rebellion. And all of it begins with an activation so powerful that it feels kind of like a cosmic reset button. Right away with the Cosmo Oracles as well, this is where Spirit is saying now is the time to stop caring about what they think. Stop dimming your light for others or based on their approval, right? This is the time to live your life. Live the life that you love and live it freely, because no one said this whole life is a race, right? It's okay to slow down. More importantly, go to the beat of your own drum. Go to the rhythm in your daily rhythms that you feel in your heart, because at the end of the day, that's the heart that wants to live within you. And if that resonates, let me know. Put a heart in the comments below, because by the time that Venus enters Pisces and your 7th house, which, I mean, I tell you what, we are like the luckiest sign to have Venus in during Valentine's season, the season of love, in our 7th house of Pisces, 7th house of partnerships with Pisces involved, the dreamer planet. Just get ready, because it's going to get romantic. I'm just saying. But by the time that she enters our 7th house and Pisces, with her being in Aquarius before this, you won't just relate differently to others. You'll have rewritten the invisible contracts that govern your time, your energy, your labor, your worth, and your devotion, as she teaches you how to love life and live it freely at the same time. So how you work, how you heal, how you serve, how you relate to your body, how you define your devotion are all being revolutionized in the next couple of weeks. And she's here to give you your life as an unconventional upgrade that's filled with expansion. So Venus, our planet of heart's desires, right? She governs love, value, pleasure, attraction, money. She also values beauty, and more importantly, what feels worth cherishing, what feels worth your energy, your appreciation, and your investment. And with Aquarian energy involved as well, this is where it's like liberation meets love, right? Aquarius energy is innovative. It represents and governs higher intelligence. It also represents the future with what your heart wants to grow into, and frees you from the past. It also holds the observer energy so that you can truly take a holistic healing look, widen the lens out to see what needs to be healed, what needs to be let go, more importantly, where you want to go. So it's very similar to Virgo energy in that way, just less detailed. It's more of a wider lens. And when all of this energy of air is entangled with Venus in your 6th house, that is our astrological Virgoan home, being a sign that finds purpose and meaning and service, right? Our 6th house governs work, health, habits, our daily rhythm and rituals, our lifestyle choices, because each one counts. How we dedicate our energy for service, and how we hold our energy responsibly so that it's not taken away from us, so that we don't let it seep out or be drained away unconventionally or unknowingly. And when these 3 aspects combine, you get this question that echoes through your life. Does the way that I live my days actually align with what I value? And this is truly going to feel like the Fool's Shoes journey. It is an unlimited potential kind of a new start, where your heart starts embracing the spirit of adventure, your creativity starts to open up in unconventional ways, right? And it's going to be a journey that truly has a starting point where you're able to tap into that divine humanity within you, locate where you've been overfunctioning, where you're overworking and working without happiness, where responsibility, most importantly, has replaced how you enjoy what you do. And it's looking at all of it, and it's truly about reclaiming that presence of love and where you find meaning. So Venus in Aquarius in our 6th house is like love wearing a lab coat with neon stitching, right? It is not flashy. It's just making a statement. It's a trend-setting kind of energy. And this transit is here to help you recode what drains you and replace it instead with what fulfills you, right? All your passion, all your inspiration, your romance too, we'll get into it. Lofty thoughts of where you choose to dream, how far you want to go, what your future truly looks like when you tap in and focus on your emotions, your compassion, and follow your intuition, right? It's putting all of that into your cup and making sure that that cup gets filled up. And I will say, this is love with Venus and Aquarius in our 6th house. This is love with fresh air. So this Venus loves freedom. She loves responsibility. She loves originality. She loves emotional honesty without melodrama. And she values friendships as floor play. She values ideals as intimacy. And my favorite part, she values authenticity as the ultimate aphrodisiac, particularly with looking at what drains you and what you define as your devotion very truthfully, so that we can anchor it with Saturn's energy and unblock your sacral chakra, right? Unblock where you've been feeling exhausted, why you've been feeling exhausted, where you're over-functioning, where you're feeling that overload by excessive responsibility or trying too hard and actually blocking the manifestations that you're trying to work towards or call in. And for Virgos in particular, this energy inspires you to start asking, does this routine honor my individuality or just my anxiety? Am I being helpful or am I hiding? Is this relationship efficient or does it actually feel alive? Which one of these does it feel like, right? Which one speaks to you when you think about the relationships and the entanglements that you have with work, health, love, joy, your contentment, your pleasures, how you feel about money, how you feel about beauty, and more importantly, the relationship that you have with and hold with yourself. So, because she's stationing in our 6th house, Venus wants love that shows up daily, right? She shows up for you. She wants a partner who respects your rhythms, who has work that aligns with your values, that holds habits that feel kind instead of punishing, and that really looks for and values relationships that are built on mutual usefulness and mutual respect, where love truly becomes something that you practice, not something that you chase. And for Virgos, this energy inspires you to start asking, where do I feel alive, right? Where do I feel that home, that quiet revolution that needs to expand? And so this is where with Venus and Aquarius, you're truly learning to humanize your perfectionism, particularly where that South Node in Virgo in our first house has really made you timid, made you hesitate, made you step back or be overly critical of yourself. So instead of polishing yourself into acceptability, you allow your quirks, your quirkiness to shine through. Instead of fixing people, you collaborate with them. Instead of self-improvement as criticism, you move forward towards self-upgrading with compassion. And it's truly like realizing that the spreadsheet of your life needs one wild column labeled what if, right? What if? Where am I being stagnated because I'm afraid of bad news? Because I'm afraid of the bad communication, right? The volatility. And where has that fear led my decisions versus how I stand my ground with the Eight of Staffs? Where has that held me back, made me give up rather than persevere? She's getting you your moxie back in a lot of different ways. And at work, this is where, I should say too, in love, let's start with that. In love, you may find yourself truly drawn to people who respect your mind, encourage autonomy, who share ideals, not just habits. And you'll be drawn to people who feel like teammates in a long-term experiment. It's all about asking that what if that leads to tenacity, that lets you open doors that lead to success, that look at where as well you've been held back when it comes to resistance of accepting change or repeating bad choices as well, stagnation, lethargy, fear of change. This is the time in love, work, and health and self-care. Venus is truly revolutionizing your heart's desires in such a big way. So at work, you start to see yourself shine when your service helps others in innovative ways. You're really looking at what fills your bucket up and how it instills that inspiration in others, how it helps others, right? Where there's a need to really honor and celebrate those rewards, those achievements every step of the way. Where there's reunions, friendships, bonds being built in collaboration. Your skills, where they contribute to something meaningful or progressive. And also, too, where you're allowed to improve systems instead of just maintain them. This is empowering energy, and especially when it comes to health, when it comes to self-care. Venus in Aquarius in the sixth house says your body is not a machine that needs to be optimized. It's a machine. It's not a machine at all, actually, I should say. It's a living ecosystem that demands not only to be listened to, that needs to be heard, but it needs to be cherished. It needs to be celebrated. This is where, with Venus in Aquarius, she is here in our sixth house to teach you that love does not require self-erasure. Love is something that needs to be cherished. Service does not require martyrdom. Improvement does not require shame. You're allowed to be useful and unconventional at the same time. More importantly, devotion also allows for freedom. You can be both at the same time. You can also be precise and a visionary, all at the same time. And starting things out right away on the 18th, I know I have said this for the weekend read. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But this is big because on January 18th, and stay tuned because I'll do a separate reading for the new moon, spoiler alert. I've also done a meditation video that I just posted here this morning as well. But on January 18th, the moon, which has been freshly reborn from the Capricorn new moon in our fifth house, and the evening moves to Aquarius. And when the moon moves to Aquarius, it happens to also conjunct with Venus and with Pluto in Aquarius in our sixth house. This is where those new moon intentions, stay tuned for that video, not only lock into place, where wishes come true, prosperity is to be had. Venus rules money. I'll say it again. This is material comforts, the fruits of your labor, the confidence, the independence, the inner peace that's truly needed to drive your intentions, your goals, your dreams to the next level and really solidify them. And what solidifies them most is when the moon moves into Aquarius, conjuncts Venus, conjuncts Pluto in our sixth house of work. This is truly one of the most important days of the entire transit when Venus is in Aquarius. And she just entered Aquarius, right? On the 17th. This is the electric heartbeat of all of those new moon beginnings. I will also say on the 18th, when she and the moon and Pluto all meet together in our 6th house in Aquarius energy, it activates the Aquarius stellium that Venus will ride through into February. So this is an emotional awakening, that meets soul deep transformation inside your daily life and your daily rhythm. And I will also say it's where things get real, dreams get real. They get anchored, grounded into every seed that you plant, right? And it truly becomes fertile because you're planting with fertile soil. This is good news when it comes to your heart chakra being aligned to your actions. And with Pluto, with the moon, this is your emotions manifesting your heart's desires with revolutionary change. It's very empowering energy. This is good stuff. Like, this is giving me goosebumps right now. I can't help it. But this is also where, with Pluto involved, Pluto doesn't tweak things, right? Pluto dismantles things that no longer serve us. Sometimes gently. I'll just forewarn you though, sometimes not if there's resistance to change, just like we pulled in the cards. So in Aquarius, he dismantles outdated systems that work against you rather than serve you. And in the 6th house, he's dismantling how you work, how you heal, how you serve, when in particular it's deprecating instead of elevating, so that you can truly free up your energy to elevate, to ascend to that high priestess energy, particularly with your emotions. So the moon conjunct Venus here brings a felt realization in the pit of your stomach that whispers, I cannot keep living this way. It doesn't arrive dramatically, it arrives quietly. So it can arrive with something like a routine, like during a routine moment, right? When you're like headed to work, while you're grabbing a Pop-Tart for breakfast instead of making blueberry honey yogurt with avocado toast. Choices, just saying. You may even feel through your body and feel this energy of like, I can't keep living this way. Something's got to change, through a tingling or even like heartburn in a lot of ways. There's something here with this conjunction that allows energy to move through you where something just clicks. And the moon, it starts with this new moon, right? It starts with this activation of the Aquarius stellium. When something clicks within you, there's an epiphany that comes through. And it comes through as a sensation that connects the mind with the heart and the body with your instinct, with your inner knowing. And it's demanding change. And when that happens, those new moon intentions all lock into place. This locks change into place. Your perceptivity, your subconscious with your consciousness, your intuition, your psychic energy, all the dualities within you, right? Your unrevealed future. The epiphany could be there too, where you get a sight as to like, oh my goodness, I'm picturing myself 20 years down the road, and if I don't stop this, if I don't change this one thing, this is that unrevealed future. Do I want it? Is it still in line with me? Is how I live my day, does it actually align with where I want to go, with what I value? And there's a spiritual teacher kind of gift that comes in with it. So the Capricorn new moon beforehand had seeds of joy that were planted, creativity that were planted, pleasures that were planted. And now with the moon in Aquarius, it's saying, let's make that joy, that intention, that dream, that future so sustainable, so that the seed that I planted during that time is not only resilient, it stands the test of time, it stays rooted through the distractions, through the noise. Let's give it room to grow, and let's give it light to grow. This is where you're turning the wheel, right? And the wheel is turning in your favor. Fortune always changes. So if you see that epiphany of like, oh my goodness, just as an example, like say if you're a smoker and you're like, if I keep smoking like a chimney, I don't know what's going to happen to my lungs or what they're going to look like in 30 years, right? This is where Spirit reminds you destiny always changes. And Pluto is here to remind you, change your life, or change one habit, change your life, right? It's a turn for the better, but it's absolutely a turning point. It has to do with good deeds of karma that you've done in the past as service. Also has to do with karma that you're learning, that you're ready to complete, that you're ready to release, because there's that involved too with this. Venus is playing a role with this later in the month. So this is where there's a wild card. There's an epiphany that comes in, and it's saying, let's leave room for that future so that it's blessed with Jupiter. Let's follow that intuition. Let's make sure that we make endings happen where it's necessary so that we can open the room and realize that those endings are truly disguised as new beginnings, or disguisure. Anyway, they're actually new beginnings in disguise. That's what I mean. Either way, this is where you realize discipline without pleasure is just self-abandonment, right? This is also where you realize that service without love is inevitable, or inevitably becomes resentment. And I will also say this is an electric new beginning that writes your path and your future for all of 2026. It's going to carry you through all of this year. It's an emotional clarity that comes in without sentimentality, and it allows you to truly recognize that you're waking up. And right away, once this stellium activates, it gets amplified. So on January 19th, Venus will also conjunct Pluto, and these two are conjuncting at 3 degrees. This is alchemy of choice. So 3 degrees not only carries this energy, this strong numerological meaning of creation, but it's voice, it's choice, it's expression, and it's communication. It's truth that's brought into form through mind, body, and spiritual alignment. And this conjunction right away is asking you, what are you creating every day without realizing, for better or for worse? So Venus conjunct Pluto at 3 degrees in Aquarius is value, death, and rebirth, where something you once valued no longer holds power, right? You're looking at the good news ahead, the new information that comes on, the epiphanies that have come in, the new seeds that you've planted. And now this conjunction comes in and it says, okay, we're waking up. Where is our alchemy being focused? So something you tolerated in the past no longer feels like it's negotiable. There's a new romance. There's a new childish youthfulness with insight, creativity being instilled in you. And it's truly asking you to wake up. So this is where, for better or for worse, you're looking at what needs to be reborn, what needs to be released. So this can show up as like a work dynamic that's shifting, a health pattern that's demanding change, a realization about how much energy you give versus how much you receive and where it's draining you, right? So Pluto strips Venus bare in a PG-13 way, right? And asks, is this truly worth your life force? Where are you finding that connection, the nostalgia? What in the past has been draining you potentially? Where has conflict and unhappiness been manifesting? Relational problems been creating sorrow, instability, arguments? Is it tied to the past? And are you going to let that past determine your future? So Venus and Pluto's conjunctions are intense, where they put a spotlight on your relationship with effort in a very big way. You're being shown where love became labor, where service became self-erasure, where usefulness replaced worth. And it's tying it all back to the past. So in this moment, this is where you truly get an opportunity to reclaim your power through your daily choices and making every single one of them count. It's not going to necessarily feel dramatic, but it is absolutely going to feel permanent. And on January 23rd, there's a brave conversation through all of this growth that is going to be coming out of this. And it's happening beneath the surface. And it's one as well that gives you courage to go even deeper. Get that. So the moon in Aries, no less. Remember, Aries is action, initiation in our 8th house of transformation, death, and rebirth. The moon in Aries will be sextile with Venus, and the moon is lighting up your 8th house. Intimacy, fear, trust, emotional honesty. And it's lighting a match in the dark. So this sextile is really special. It offers bravery and emotional courage. It's the kind of energy that says, I'm not afraid to look at what's underneath, right? Underneath the bed, underneath the rug. I know what those dust bunnies look like. I'm cleaning out underneath the fridge. I don't know what it is, but either way, it may be something that comes out and it gives you that bravery to truly confront a fear around control, a fear around dependence, a fear around rest even as well. So this sextile is an opportunity to initiate a difficult conversation, or even to confront a financial or energetic imbalance. And most importantly, acknowledge a resentment that's been brewing, that's been kind of underneath the surface, hiding underneath that rug or underneath that bed. And more importantly, acknowledge that it's a resentment that you've been spiritualizing away, right? So Aries says act when we locate this. Aquarius says let's liberate it. Let's get the vacuum out. Let's clean out those dust bunnies. Let's set you free. And together they ask, what truth would set you free if you stopped feeling like you had to take care of everyone else's feelings before you took care of your own? And with the Four of Swords especially coming out 50-50, it's really looking at where there's been an illness, right, underneath the surface, where there's been a battle. What's made you feel like you need to be withdrawn, reclusive? What's put you in that state of negativity, that state of lack? What needs a period of recovery so that we can truly honor you? Balance the scales. Replenish and balance your foundations. Make you feel safe, stable, standing on solid ground. What has truly manifested? Because we've looked away and we've turned a blind eye. We've been afraid to look at and address those dust bunnies, right? So this is where it's like, look at how far it can manifest when it festers. Disease-ridden, stuck, how it actually even too manifests as an illness through the body. Has a lot to do with overworking, right? Where you're not taking enough time off to adequately recover, to adequately replenish your own bucket. This is saying, with this aspect, with the moon in Aries being sextile with Venus, there's something in you, within your foundation, that needs to be rebalanced. And it needs to be rebalanced through spiritual energy healing. There's nothing that we need to explain away. We just need to address it so that we can heal from it and then release it. And if that resonates, let me know. Because what's waiting for you once you do is the Nine of Cups. It's going to replenish your energy, free you up, let you feel. More importantly, let you heal. And Venus in Aquarius reminds you that in this sextile, independence does not mean isolation. Efficiency doesn't mean emotional starvation. This is the moment of choosing vulnerability in practical ways. So it's asking for help, sharing emotional truth at or about work. Most crucially, allowing others the opportunity to support you in the same way that you've supported them without feeling guilty about it. Just saying. That one's big. That gave me goosebumps. Somebody needed to hear that. This is where, with the Nine of Cups, by allowing that opportunity for other people to really truly lift you up, support you, be vulnerable, and know that not only is it okay, people want that from you. They love that about you. It's what makes you you. It's what makes you beautiful. This is where it's going to open the door for something very special. So get ready, because on the 28th, there's something really special that's happening. This is a day to truly mark your calendars. Truly, actually, I would say the 28th and the 29th of January. So on January 28th, your work, especially when you let others help you, is becoming very visible. There is something very special here. So the moon in Gemini will trine Venus. And this is your 10th house of career, reputation, recognition, meeting up with your 6th house of work, your 6th house of lifestyle, and your day-to-day. Get ready, because there's a voice that is going to be singing, and it has a lot to do with how you want to be seen in this world. Let me tell you, this is the energy that's going to feel like a breath of fresh air. It's going to lift you up. It's going to fill the sails of your heart. And the Gemini moon in your 10th house lifts your story at the same time that your heart is flying and flying high, right? This is abundance. This is happiness. This is all the material success that you've been yearning for. Jupiter blessing your dreams, coming to a place of achieving your goals, attaining what you've been working so hard for, integrating the lessons along the way, allowing things to let go when they need to be released through that Aries moon sextile. It's particularly your fear, right? This is the end of a cycle and the beginning of a brand new one. And let me tell you, this is a day on the 28th that is truly a green light kind of day. Get ready, because your ideas are about, like, particularly I will say your ideas about work-life balance, about health, system improvements, also too, like efficiency with soul. They all start to truly land. And as these ideas flow, conversations open doors, and your intelligence is definitely going to be noticed. So someone in this energy sees your brilliance, not because you're overworked, but because you've tried, you've learned, and most importantly, you've learned to work smarter. There's something that you're doing that all the innovation that this Aquarius energy is bringing in is going to be shining through and getting a lot of attention on January 28th. So this trine is all about earned ease. It's also where others see you now, right? Your adaptability, your intelligence, your innovative approach. And this is the day where you truly get to experience proof. It's where the world and the universe responds to all that you've been working on, all that you've been innovating, all that you've been expanding on, growing within, doing all that inner work. And this is where the world and the universe responds with the encouraging feedback that says, yes, that is how you do it differently. Everyone, look at her, look at him. What they're doing, that originality, that, we need to learn that. Share with us how you did that. This is that kind of energy. And like I was saying, on the 29th, get ready, because this is back-to-back energy with all of a sudden you're up on stage, there's a spotlight on you, but not in a Leo way, in a Gemini way. On the 29th, the Aquarius stellium starts to speak. So Mercury conjuncts Venus at 14 degrees. And let me tell you, this is massive. So Mercury, our ruler, right, is rewriting a contract for you on your behalf. And at 14 degrees, you know, this is the number of karmic balance, integration. 14 reduces to 5 as well. And 5 is change. 5 is freedom. 5 is choice. And let me remind you, in the Aquarius stellium, we have 5 planets entangled together in the stellium. We've got the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Pluto, all in Aquarius in your 6th house, and with the 5 planets all together in this stellium. And with Mercury and Venus conjunct at 14 degrees, this is truly a mental breakthrough where your mind and your heart finally speak the same language, where you also may be renegotiating work terms, health routines, boundaries, expectations, and you're going to be renegotiating them through a very pivotal conversation. There is something here where you're making a decision about work or about health, and it stems from a realization that really is linked to how you talk to yourself. So we're looking at, especially with the 6 of Pentacles being in reverse, where you've been talking to yourself in a way that's discriminatory. Also too, where you've been naive, opening yourself up to scams by giving your power away. Also too, where you really felt that it's kind of that victim mentality in a lot of ways, right? Where you just feel like, oh my goodness, I've been kicked while I'm down so many times, the universe must hate me, right? And it's that kind of self-talk, that self-deprecation that devalues you, devalues your sense of worth, devalues your what you contribute, what you're meant to build. And most importantly, it's enlightening you. This stellium is speaking to you, telling you this is how it is also manifesting, impacting your health in a very big way, mentally, spiritually, physically. And if that resonates, let me know, because this is where things start to change. This Aquarius energy brings objectivity, where you stop taking things personally, you stop talking to yourself negatively, you stop over-identifying with productivity and feeling that you have to earn your optimism, your positivity, that you have to earn new ventures, that you have to earn your excitement, that you have to earn your fearlessness, your movement, your adventure. This is where things truly change, and especially with the Knight of Wands, this is kind of where, again, I will say, through all of this transit with Venus, she is asking you, does the way that I live my days each and every day actually align with what I value, with my worth? And she's teaching you how to love life and live it freely at the same time. You're going to feel that energy on the 29th in a very big way. So as the Aquarium stellium now is fully humming, it's going to upgrade your frequency. And in the same time, when it raises your vibration, in the same moment, it's also going to be gifting you with mental freedom. So not only is your mind being freed, this is where with Venus in Aquarius, as we walk into February, she's going to also offer some very big healing around this energy so that you can move forward, charge forward, raise that pentacle up. Remember, I mean, we've had the cup being exalted. We've got the staff of action, like your emotions being exalted, your movement being exalted. Now we're truly looking at your value. So on the 4th of February, Venus will be sextile with Chiron, our wounded healer, at 23 degrees. And yes, 23 also breaks down to 5. There is a lot of change that you didn't see quietly coming with this quiet revolution. So when Venus sextiles Chiron at 23 degrees, there is an axis that is being awakened between your 6th house of work and your 8th house of transformation. And 23 is the number of spiritual protection, of spiritual guidance. And I'll say it again, 23 also reduces to 5. This is freedom through healing. So Chiron in your 8th house heals old wounds around trust, dependence, self-assertion, identity, survival, and shared energy, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And Venus here with this sextile offers transformation and freedom through gentle healing, right? She's your heart's desires. She's doing it in a gentle way. She's not ripping a Band-Aid off like Pluto. And this is where she also offers compassion without sacrifice, where you stop earning your healing and you know that you deserve it. You owe it to yourself, but not in a deprecating way, in a way that lets you expand, that lets you ascend, and that lets you elevate. So this sextile is here to teach you that you don't need to suffer more to be worthy of rest. You don't need to explain your pain just to justify it or to justify change. No is a sentence. Enough is also a sentence. So you don't have to fix everyone to deserve love. You deserve it just for being here. There is this soft but profound release happening with this sextile with Chiron involved and Venus involved. And it's basically happening in a way that allows you to truly feel and embrace change in a way that's going to feel radical, but it's also going to feel soothing at the same time. It's going to feel like with the Seven of Swords, what we're really addressing is where things have been basically, where there's been trespasses that have been done and people have gotten away with it, how it's impacted you, how it's held you back, how you've held it in, how it's impacted you in a very negative way in how you live. And instead, it brings all of it to the light, right? It's getting caught in the act. It's like those who are throwing rocks are doing it with a spotlight, and then there's sirens in the background going on. Has to do with either where you've deceived the self or where others have deceived you. But most importantly, where it's blocked your solar plexus, right? And that's your confidence. It's knowing who you are, what you're made to do, what you're made of, what allows you in this world to shine your gifts so that you can truly be inspiration in action. This is going to be freeing you in a very big way that I'll say it again. It's going to feel radical. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but it's also going to feel very soothing at the same time. And it's going to feel innovative. And when this healing comes through, the moon is going to play a very big role. So on February 7th, right after this is where between the 4th and the 7th, we've got this wonderful healing that's happening. And then on the 7th, there's stability that comes out of it and is reborn because of it. So stability returns on the 7th because the moon is going to be in Libra, and that Libra moon is going to be trining with Venus. And Libra in your 2nd house, which remember, Venus rules the 2nd house. That is your house of worth. It highlights self-worth, finances. Venus governs money, beauty, value. This is where, with your emotions being surrounded by so much air in between Libran energy and Aquarius energy, this trine is here to restore balance where worth is relational. And it's also here to awaken the acknowledgement, especially with Chiron involved on the 4th, that worth starts from within. It's the relationship of the self that truly allows relationships to flow outward from you. This is where the second house and the sixth house axis is basically harmony talking to harmony. Air flowing into air. It's a yes answering another yes in a lot of ways. And for you, it lands right where your self-worth meets your daily life. So the moon is in your inner weather, right? It is entangled. It's your emotions. It's what you work for. It's where you take action, where you've had difficulty letting go because of conflicts. What you need to, see that was built on sand that's falling, and where your emotional cup needs to be purified. This axis is such an epiphany. So where your moon is your inner weather, what you need to feel, it looks at like what you need to feel safe, right? What you need in your life to feel soothed, to feel holistically whole. And Libran energy is all about craving that equilibrium. Welcoming fairness into your life, knowing what's false and what's true, right? Especially between these two aces, especially with what you work for, seeing that return on investment being entangled in the middle. This is where your sense of fairness, your sense of things that really crave that mutual respect, that really crave aesthetic pleasing in your environments, or pleasability in your environment, where you crave that emotional civil ability. Is that a word? Where things are emotionally civil. That's what I mean. This is where the moon is reminding you that you are not an invoice, you are an asset. And especially with the King of Wands coming out 50-50, this is where it's looking at utilizing all your leadership to manifest your goals. And it starts with truly believing in yourself and knowing just how how much of an asset you are, how big your worth is. Not diminishing any of it, right? It's standing in your authority, seeing how resilient you are, being open-minded to the future, rather than standing in that lack mentality, that state of victimhood that really diminishes your belief in the self. On the flip side, with the King of Wands in reverse, this is where it's looking at where things have been overbearing, where you've where the ego has ruled, where there's even arrogance that's ruling, where you've seen and experienced that, where people don't value you. This is air flowing into air. Like I say, it's 50-50. It's looking at both sides of the coin, and it's focusing, craving that balance, that fairness, where there's mutual respect, where you're truly valued for the work that you do, for the contributions and the gifts that you are meant to do, in all the goals that you've been manifesting, all the work that you've been diligently putting in, and making sure that you see that return on investment, feel that return on investment, experience that return on investment in a way that truly pays off and that's holistically whole, that makes you feel holistically whole. So Venus at the same time in this trine is truly looking at where you're investing your energy and making sure that where you invest your energy, love is respected. It's not consuming. She's wanting in this trine to say that work should align with your values, not just efficiencies. And where care should be mutual, not one-sided. And she's telling you not only is this mental clarity, this is where we need to focus, especially when it comes to where we make our choices, where we hold our vision, where we hold our worth, where we're able to stand on our truth, and where we're able to create new beginnings that lead to true success, as opposed to holding on to the past, right? Or letting the past control our future. This is harmony between what you give and what you receive, and it offers an emotional reassurance where your confidence stabilizes, you feel more grounded in your value, in who you are, and more importantly, you know just how beautiful you truly are. I will also say during this time, money, Venus rules money. Let's talk about it. Libra in our second house, we've got money involved in this entanglement. Money, energy, and time come into clearer alignment under this trine with Venus and the moon. So it's truly going to make you aware of conflicts that have left you feeling defeated, where there's been arguments that really it's just painful, right? It's like you're taking like one step forward just to feel like you're leaving the table with 10 steps back, right? It's like you're pulling teeth to try and collaborate. And remember, Aquarius energy, it's where we're turning things into collaboration. We're investing our energy in the right partnerships that are truly devoted, that respect time, energy, labor, worth, and devotion. So this is where you're looking at all the conflicts, where there's been all this like friction points that have really been consuming, right? That have really been just efficient, or that have been one-sided when it comes to the relationships, into the work, the energy that you're putting into, the time that's being called to you. And it's letting that tower fall so that a new beginning that is more balanced can be opened up. This is chaos brought on by sudden change. This is also too letting things go that have caused pain, loss, confusion. It's good destruction because it paves the way, whereas you can see like it's built on sand. It's being struck by lightning in a lot of ways, and Uranus is going to play a role here too right after this. We'll get into it because it's coming in right on the 8th, so you're going to feel the energy entangle over both days. It's all to open up an opportunity of purity when it comes to love being respected, work being aligned with your values, and care being mutual, reciprocal in a lot of ways as well. So this is where Venus in this energy, this trine all together with the moon as well, is saying, let's do this in a way that actually honors who you are. This is harmony between what you give, what you receive, like I was saying before, in who you are and in just how beautiful you are. Your money, your energy, your time are all coming into clearer alignment where you feel steadier, you feel more grounded, you feel less inclined to apologize even when it's unnecessary, right? You're standing your ground because there's no need to apologize when you didn't do anything. But sometimes that people pleaser comes out of all of us, right? It's within each and every one of us when we feel unconfident. So this is where, with this trine, you're going to move through the day feeling centered instead of scrutinized, appreciated instead of tolerated. It has a lot to do with that self-confidence and in the confidence that others instill in you. You're going to also feel quietly proud instead of feeling, how to put this? You're going to quietly feel proud instead of feeling allowed to feel secure without being perfect. And if that resonates, let me know. Share your thoughts, because this is truly the reward for choosing alignment over perfection with this trine. And as I was saying, right away after this, you're going to feel the entanglement of both days, because on February 8th, there is absolutely a disruption that's going to set you free. And it's going to set you free from a pattern that you're finally able to break. So Venus is going to square Uranus. And remember, Uranus is in retrograde in Taurus in our 9th house of higher expansion, self-wisdom. They're also squaring at 27 degrees. And 27 degrees in astrology is like this deep inhale before the leap. It's the last page of a chapter written in ink, written with sweat, written with lived experience, and it reduces to the 9, which numerologically is the number of completions, karmic release, and initiation into wisdom. This is where you are taking in this enlightenment, this ascension that really connects you to that collective creative consciousness. It's ascending to a new level. It's through a breakthrough. So this square arrives in a way like, so it's going to feel like a sudden gust through an open window. It's just disruptive enough to remind you that air is meant to move. And if that resonates, let me know, because this is where love wants room to breathe. And with Uranus being in retrograde, there's a sudden realization that's been fermenting for quite some time that is now asking, whose values am I actually living? Mine or someone else's? Mine, where I want to grow, who I want to become, or what I've been told I should believe, what I've been preconditioned to accept. So your daily life under this square, this is where your daily life wants to evolve. But something, Uranus is like bringing something to the table here, or to the surface, and it's something that doesn't line up anymore. There's a routine that feels hollow, a work situation that feels misaligned, And there's this thing about the feeling of should that starts to itch within you. It can feel like your inner compass is recalibrating mid-step, where it's like you kind of have both feet in the air in a lot of ways, almost like a hop, but it's not necessarily a good feeling. It may feel a little uncomfortable. And with this little recalibration mid-step, you may just feel or have a sudden urge to change a work pattern, a boundary, something that leads to a place that sets you free, that lets you charge forward in your action, that lets your inner divine humanity shine through, that lets you lead with compassion. And it has a lot to do with the King of Swords being in reverse here. Something where it's like your heart has had too many, it's not boundaries, it's been walls, where it's been calcified, right? Where there's been abuse of power, where there's been ulterior motives, ruthless action, negative influence, particularly from a masculine figure. And it's disrupted your root chakra in a lot of ways. In your root chakra, basically that's about having an unshakable foundation, right? Being indomitable. Something has really been rooted deep within you. It's been fermenting. It's an itch that you just haven't been able to scratch. I absolutely love that, like that kind of analogy. But it's caused discomfort in ways that you don't recognize and that you don't realize. And in the same way, it has a lot to do where it's made you feel discomfort, it's made you feel uncomfortable or unstable. It's also affected how you adapt, how you close your mind and your heart, how you open yourself to new perspectives in a lot of ways. It's really impacted in a way that truly has looked at your lifestyle choices in a way where you realize the ulterior motive was you serving their goals, not you serving your own. And it hasn't been reciprocated. It hasn't been, you haven't been supported, right? So this is where your daily life truly wants to evolve. Something is feeling hollow that needs to change. You may just have a sudden urge with this discomfort. And let me tell you, it's going to be a discomfort around advice, rules, or expectations that you used to accept. And you're having a realization that your values have truly outgrown what you have accepted in the past, what you have maybe even developed into a habit. And there's this desire to learn, to teach, to see life form, and to see life from a radically different angle. And you want to see it form from this new angle. This square is here to remind you that alignment matters more than efficiency. And the universe is telling you with this square that you cannot carry the old world into your new timeline. And that's where you're being called to step up, step into your leadership, right? To get out there, to truly stand in your individuality rather than follow the grain of what others have taught you. Wherever this has held you back, made you feel like you're standing on unsteady ground, feel a little bit with this, or anticipate feeling with this square, especially with what's going on with the trine on the 7th as well, because now you got the courage, you've got that emotional balance, your worth is like, let's do it this way that truly honors you. And where you haven't been honored, you're now aligning your action, carrying that new energy into your new timeline. So this square is truly telling you it is time to let go. And once you do, suddenly see how light you are. See how well you can thrive on challenge. See how motivated, career-driven you are. See how your individuality allows you to inspire others, allows your action to stand with your creativity, allows your vision to truly take off and take growth. In your enterprising like nature and what you're building, in your energy, with knowing that you're walking inspiration with what you're meant to do, what you were born to do. Standing in all of that, leaping forward, driving forward as an extrovert, where before you were an introvert or driven to be an introvert, with all the enthusiasm that your future holds. This is where it's time to let go. And I'll say it again, once you do, suddenly you're not only going to feel lighter, you're going to feel free. And it's here to teach you. The square is here to teach you, especially with yourself, like your higher self wisdom coming into play at the late degree of 27 degrees, to release what's been a burden and initiate that wisdom. Deeply inhale and take that leap into where you're meant to become, into your new timeline. And I will also say, once Venus enters Pisces on the 10th, right after this, get ready, because love becomes fluid. Venus enters Pisces in your house of commitments, partnerships, your 7th house. And I will also say too, this is where our North Node is. So for those that are not looking for love, I'm sorry in advance. For those that are, all the work that you're doing with Venus and Aquarius is truly going to be opening a very special door for you once she enters Pisces. So not only does love become fluid, Venus softens when she enters Pisces, because that's our dreamer. That is the leader that leads with its heart, right? Pisces opens your heart. The focus turns outward as opposed to inward. And the work becomes visible in your relationships. Relationships feel more compassionate. Boundaries feel more intuitive. You attract people that truly respect your new rhythm. It's where love meets you halfway, compassion flows both directions, and because of this, devotion feels mutual. And we're coming into love season. Valentine's Day happens 4 days into where Venus is. So she's going to be at a very early degree when we hit Valentine's Day, the season of love. Sorry in advance if you're not looking for love. If you are, get ready. Just saying, it's going to be one of those Valentine's Days in this year, 2026, that you absolutely remember, because this is the big year of reset, right? It's the year of new beginnings. So when Venus moves into Pisces, because of this energy shift into your 7th house, just as a precursor for you, spoiler alert, this is where you don't chase, you attract. So stay tuned, because you're also building up boundaries that are healthy, and Spirit is reminding you, you are the master at finding life's flow. And Aquarius energy with Venus and Aquarius in your 6th house, helping you do the work, is going to bring you back into harmony with the rhythm and the youthfulness of your path. This is the time to truly do the inner work, truly see how that exudes, inspires. Because remember, as within, so without, as above, so below. And while you're doing all this work, she's encouraging you to swim in the happiness of joyful living, right? To love life and live it freely at the same time. And while you do that, she's reminding you, don't be afraid. You're protected. So, in this energy, with Venus, while she's in Aquarius, she is here to teach you one sacred truth. Your life is not a task just to be completed. Your worth is not measured in output. Your devotion must include yourself. Learn to play. Learn how powerful your patience is with trusting in divine timing, because you are absolutely protected during this energy. It's time to go with the flow. You are not here to be useful until you're empty. You are not here to fix systems that refuse to evolve, or people for that matter either. You are not here to disappear into service. Venus in Aquarius, especially in our 6th house, is teaching you, and is here to teach you, that love can be efficient and kind at the same time. Love can be healing, and it can also be logical and soulful, all at the same time. And by the time Venus leaves Aquarius, your heart will not only be clearer, but you'll be able to live, to know that a well-lived life is the most beautiful service of all. And she's asking you to write that contract where love is meant to build a life that loves you back. And this is where the contract in this season now changes for you. It's time to inhale the confidence, exhale the fear, dive into the wisdom, and know that in divine timing, you're creating a place in nature's stillness to be renewed. This is the time where patience brings you all the rewards. Your confidence helps you step into your purpose. And taking the time, doing the work during this Aquarius season, all through this Aquarius revolution with the Aquarian stellium, with the self-care rebellion that Venus is asking you to do, and more importantly, that she's helping to teach you, we're looking at where you're overfunctioning, where you're working without happiness, where responsibility has replaced how you enjoy what you do. And we're changing that script. We're changing and rewriting that contract, revolutionizing it so that how you live your days truly aligns with what you value, aligns with your purpose, makes you renewed, helps you feel renewed, helps you find balance, and instills the rewards that you're meant to receive. So before we go, I do just want to look at our major arcana, but if you resonated with this message, let me know how this message resonates with you. What's cracking open within you as she's asking you how you live while Venus is in Aquarius during this season and in your 6th house. But if this resonated, by all means, truly know that you guys are what elevate this message, all of these messages, and this channel, this family, so that it can be received by the ears that need to hear so that we can all rise together. So by all means, if this resonated, if you like the way that I read, please like, share, subscribe, share your thoughts, let me know. Know that I am sending you so much love and light during this season. And before we go, for those that do improv in their meditation, what we pulled frequency-wise for music is G sharp, A sharp, and E, and then color therapy. I mean, look at this. This is solar plexus energy, following your intuition, being ignited with your intuition and your divine humanity with your crown chakra, taking that fool's journey. Just saying. So we've got indigo, purple, and yellow for the color frequencies. I am sending you guys so much love and light. Take care. Have a wonderful season while Venus is in Aquarius and in our 6th house. And I will see you in the next reading.